Prabhu, the Leelas of uh, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and especially today is liberation of Bhaṭṭācārya. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So Prabhu will dwell us into the pastimes of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks for giving me opportunity to glorify Lord Chaitanya Prabhu. Yesterday we had a wonderful Kirtan Mela in your house. So that has set the mood of further discussion. So welcome back all the devotees for Chaitanya Charitamrita study class. So we are continuing from the discussion which is happening between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So we all know that Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he, out of compassion, he wanted to give the knowledge of absolute truth, so-called his understanding, and he thinks he is a perfect. He wanted to educate Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, and even he had plans to reinitiate him in sannyas ashram freshly, because he felt Chaitanya Prabhu was not adequately equipped with a proper mood of a sannyasi. So it was out of compassion, he wanted to give this knowledge to him, and it so happened continuously for a week, both Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu sat, and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was giving the knowledge of absolute truth as revealed in Vedanta Sutras with his own interpretation. And Chaitanya Prabhu, he didn't utter even a word. He heard everything, all continuously, all 7 days he heard. At the end of 7 days, Chaitanya Prabhu was still silent, and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was astonished. He says that, what is this? I lectured for 7 days continuously, and I don't know whether you understood anything or not. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, how I'll know that you understood anything what I told? Then Lord Chaitanya Prabhu said, with a lot of humility, he said, with your permission, I'll speak. The question is regarding understanding Vedanta Sutras. It is very easy to understand, because Vedanta Sutra is very, very clear. He says it is a sun at the noon time. It is very clear. There is no ambiguity in understanding Vedanta Sutras. But the problem comes with your interpretation. Your interpretations are blocking the sun like a big black cloud. And it is not, the cloud of your interpretation is not giving me any meaning of Vedanta Sutras. So it was a big jolt for Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. He never heard like this before. He is a great Pandita. He is a Brihaspati himself. Of course, it is a particular Lila that he took this, Brihaspati took this role as Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So he was shocked, because Chaitanya Prabhu is telling him whatever he told is a nonsense, kind of, and everything is wrong. His interpretation is wrong, is a nonsense. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya asked, okay, if you say that whatever I said is wrong, then you please tell me what is the truth? What is your understanding of Vedanta Sutras? Then we have been witnessing the discussion happening, or the response of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for last couple of weeks, how he's thrashing out the ignorance of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. So with this background, I would like to share a screen. Starting from verse 145 onwards. Hope this is visible and I am audible for everyone. Can someone confirm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 6, text 145-146. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Bhagavan Bahu Haite Abhi Kaila Mana Prakrita Sakti Te Tabe Kaila Vilokana Se Kale Nahi Janme Prakrita Manonayana Ata Eva Aprakrita Brahmera Netramana. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead wished to become many, he glanced over the material energy. Before the creation, there were no mundane eyes or mind. Therefore, the transcendental nature of the absolute truth's mind and eyes is confirmed. So here, the discussion is happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, where Lord Chaitanya is thrashing out the illogical logic of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya by giving a counter logic. In the process of giving this counter logic, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is substantiating with the scriptural references, which we are going to discuss in this section. So, in this sloka, Srila Prabhupada explains, in this sloka and next, Srila Prabhupada explains that before the creation, there were no material minds or material eyes. So, the mind by which Lord desired to create is transcendental. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is proving in this section, today we are going to discuss about the personal feature of absolute truth. Because the interpretation of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is such that he is trying to convince Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Lord is impersonal, because he is a Mayavadi philosopher. So here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, by giving various scriptural references, he is explaining and he is thrashing out the illogical logic of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. He is giving a logic here that after creation, everything is in this material world is full of material minds, material eyes, and material senses. So, a person who created such material minds or material eyes and material senses cannot be material. So, he says that the mind by which Lord desired to create must be transcendental. This is the logic he is giving. And the eyes with which he glanced over material nature must also be transcendental. The creator of mundane eyes and mundane mind cannot be mundane, but has to be transcendental. So this is a logic offered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually speaking, Lord's glance over this material nature, in the process, he never got direct contact with material nature. So we all know, we had a seminar in the past also. Lord's glance, personification of Lord's glance is Shambhu. And when he was glancing towards Lord Karnasha Vishnu, glancing over his consort, Rama Devi. So Rama Devi's shadow transformed into Durga. The union between Durga and Shambhu for the creation takes place. So here what we understand is Lord he never had any direct interaction, direct connection with material nature also. But in principle, yes, he glanced over the material nature, but of course through various processes. We'll not go into the discussion of Shambhu and Durga at this stage. So in this sloka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explaining that before creation, there were no mundane eyes or mind. Therefore, the transcendent nature of absolute truth, mind and eyes is confirmed. So this is the logic he is giving. In text 147, Brahma Shabde ka he Purna Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Shastrera Praman. The word Brahman indicates the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Sri Krishna. That is the verdict of all Vedic literature. So he is stressing further. He is taking the discussion towards the topic of personalism of the Lord. He is proving that Lord is not impersonal, Lord is a person. So Brahman generally indicates, people will misunderstand that Brahman means impersonal Brahman. No, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Brahman indicates a complete personality of Godhead. That is a Bhagavan realization. He says this is the verdict of all the Vedic literatures. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains in purport, he refers to Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, text 15, where Krishna says, Vedesha sarve ahameva vedya. He says that ultimate object of all Vedic literature is me. Krishna says to Arjuna. So, Srila Prabhupada is referring to that, saying that understanding of all the Vedas must be to realize that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he has his own personal abode and personal form. So one should not misunderstand the concept of Brahman as impersonal Brahman. Brahman realization is totally different. The understanding of Brahman divides into three different categories. Brahman realization, further it comes Brahman realization, Paramatma realization and Bhagavan realization. But when you talk about a Brahman, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it actually means personal form of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The problem is, for us, when we apply our material senses and get influenced by different philosophers in this material world, it is not very easy to understand the absolute nature of the Lord. Even after coming into Krishna consciousness, practicing for many decades, Still we fail to understand absolute truth. So what to talk of other people in this material world? Even as a devotee, sometimes we get bewildered that Brahman realization may be right, because Adi Shankaracharya has told, so many other philosophers have told. So we get bewildered sometimes. So even as a devotee is practicing for many decades, still sometimes we come under the influence. So it's not very easy to understand. So unfortunately, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 19, he refers to, Sri Prabhupada refers this in purport, Bahunam Janmanamante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sārvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. He says that after many, many births and deaths, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. After many, many deaths, knowing me as a cause of all causes, such person is very, very rare. Samahatma Sudurlabha. So understanding absolute truth is not easy. Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya here in this section has become an instrument in the hands of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give this message to all of us. It doesn't mean that Brihaspati is ignorant. No, they're all playing a role in the drama directed by Lord. As Arjuna played his role to hear Bhagavad Gita in the Kurukshetra, he is not ignorant. He is a very wonderful devotee of Krishna. He knows everything. But since a Lord knows that Kali Yuga is approaching, so people in this Kali Yuga will be a mandabuddhi and easily they can get distracted. So he wanted to give this knowledge. He has selected Arjuna as an instrument. Same way here, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya has voluntarily became Brihaspati, voluntarily became as an instrument in the hands of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to play a role of ignorant Mayavadi sannyasi. So here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking this opportunity to tell us that who is absolute truth. So one hand, he says that it is not easy to understand. So the word Brahman, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, indicates a complete supreme personality of Godhead. It doesn't indicate, as because Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was referring to Vedanta Sutras, wherein the word Brahman mentioned, he interpreting it as a impersonal Brahman. So he says, no, your understanding is wrong. So even a liberated person, after understanding, after knowing Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, can such liberated person become a devotee? We hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 19.148, which we are going to discuss in coming months. Koti Gnani Madhye Haya Eka Jana Mukta Koti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. So this is similar to what we seen in the before slide. Bhunam Janma Namante. So same thing again here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is referring. Out of many, many millions of such wise men, one may actually become liberated Mukta. And out of many millions of such liberated persons, a pure devotee of Krishna is very difficult to find. Even understanding Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead doesn't exactly mean that he is understood the absolute truth completely. So to come to the platform of a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is telling here that a pure devotee of Krishna is very difficult to find out of millions of such liberated persons. So the only process to understand the Lord is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 7.141, which we discussed before. Today's topic, actually, the understanding of absolute truth, is a bit more technical, because the whole discussion itself is like that. And I am going to refer from different scriptures, including Sandarbhas as given by Jiva Goswami, Shat Sandarbhas, so that we will try to dwell more about the content, the discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. We can try to understand much more clear way. So here we mentioned Bhagavan Prapti Hetu Ye Kari Uda Upaya Shravana Adi Bhakti Krishna Praptira Sahaya. It is only by devotional service, beginning with hearing, that one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the only means to approach Him. So, understanding the absolute truth cannot be possible simply by a jnani. By studying various scriptures, it may not be possible to become a devotee. So, it is here, it is very clearly mentioned that only by devotional service. Bhagavan Prapti Hetu Ye Kari Upaya. There is only one way. Only means Shravanadi Bhakti Krishna Praptira Sahaya. One should practice devotional service starting with hearing, Shravana. Shravana Adi Bhakti. Bhakti starts with hearing. Hearing from what? Whom? Hearing what? Hearing from a bona fide spiritual master and his bona fide representatives, and practicing as per their instructions. That is the only process to understand the Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, a person may think that actually Upanishads, many Upanishads we see, there is no direct reference of Krishna. So, as here today we are discussing about Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he was also under that misconception, which is there is no direct statement about Krishna in Upanishads, as he interpreted. As we are going to see in coming verses, Vedic mantras cannot be understood by people with the mundane senses, and Vedeshu Durlabham. Supreme Personality of Godhead is Vedeshu Durlabham, untraceable in Vedas. So, what Sri Prabhupada explains, the purport is because understanding Vedas are not easy. Like Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is misinterpreting the meaning of Vedas. It is a person like Brihaspati who has taken the role of Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. He himself is going under misconception, misinterpretation. So what to talk of us? So Lord has revealed the knowledge of absolute truth, knowledge of Vedic instructions through Puranas. So Prabhupada explained the purport that Puranas are therefore meant to explain the Vedas and supplement Vedic knowledge. Puranas are not giving something different from what Vedic instructions have come to us. They are like a purports to Vedic knowledge and supplementing the Vedic knowledge, so that we can understanding the instructions or the knowledge given in the Vedas more clearly. So how to understand this Vedic knowledge, Vedic understanding. Srila Prabhupada says, by engaging in devotional service of Vasudeva Krishna, one acquires perfect knowledge and Vedic understanding. Very simple process. But unfortunately, we are complicating it. The process given by Lord and Acharya is very, very simple. And Srila Prabhupada says, this is how one becomes detached from this material world. By engaging in devotional service. And then we understand, we get the right understanding of absolute truth. So Prabhupada says, this is a perfection of human life. Not wasting our time on like a cats and dogs by engaging in sense gratification. But when the Vedas are properly understood, or when Vedic knowledge is received from devotees only, one can understand that Vedic knowledge leads to Sri Krishna. Otherwise, we, as Sārvabhauma is misinterpreting, we also try to concoct as per our own understanding. So, the process given by Acharyas is the Vedic understanding, and understanding of Vedas is possible only when this Vedic knowledge is received through devotees who is coming in parampara. Then only we will come to a stage of understanding Vedic knowledge. The essence of Vedas is Krishna. Srila Madhvacharya, who is a founder of Madhva Sampradaya, and he is root of our Sampradaya, Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya, which we are following. He says that all the Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, even Mahabharata, all these things, he says they're all Vedic literatures. He says any literature following the conclusive statements of this Vedic literature is also considered as Vedic literature. Means any Puranas, for example, Bhagavad Purana, for example, or there are so many Puranas we have. As long as these Puranas are following the conclusive statements given in this Vedic literature, like the four Vedas, Mahabharata, and Valmiki Ramayana, all these are Vedic literatures, as told by Madhvacharya. Says any literature following the conclusive statements of these literatures are also considered as Vedic literatures only. And he further adds that any literature that does not conform to the Vedic literature is simply misleading and waste of time for us to follow. So one must be very careful that when we are reading any literature, one must take the path given by the great Acharyas, because Vedas, knowledge given in the Vedas are like a big, huge forest. Imagine it's Amazon forest, huge forest. We don't know where to go, where is the route, what is our destination. We get lost easily because we don't have GPS. So the path already established by Acharyas, they walked through the forest, jungle. So they created a path. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the path. Path is already there. Why should we concoct again? So our great Acharya has already left a path for us. What we have to do? Simply follow the path left by Acharyas and we'll reach the destination. Whereas we are wasting our time to find or to reinvent again a new path, concoct the Vedic instructions and we get lost. Definitely we'll get lost because we apply our own mundane interpretation. We cannot understand the real purport of Vedas. So, Sri Prabhupada always used to quote very famous shloka, Mahajano yena gata sapanti. So, we have to follow the path given by Acharyas. So, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So, Prema haite Krishna haya nija bhakta vasa, Prema haite paya Krishnera seva sukharasa. The Supreme Lord, who is a greater than the greatest, becomes submissive to even a very insignificant devotee because of his devotional service. So understanding becomes so easy and it's so sweet. Lord himself becomes submissive to the devotee. Even he says very insignificant devotee also, Lord becomes submissive to him. One who comes to this understanding by following a path left by Acharyas. One who practices. This reason we say that following instructions of spiritual master is very important. It is not an ordinary statement. Here is what scriptures are revealing. Lord becomes submissive to even insignificant devotee because of his devotional service. So it is a very beautiful and exalted nature of devotional service when we follow under the instructions of bona fide spiritual master, that the infinite Lord becomes submissive to an insignificant living entity. See the beauty of devotional service. So, as we discuss the understanding of absolute truth, we'll try to understand, because we know the concepts, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, but the intricacies of Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, how are we relating it to the understanding of absolute truth is very important. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana Nama Ye Tina Artha Sarva Sutre Paryavasana in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adila 7.146 is explained. One's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, activities in terms of that relationship, and the ultimate goal of life, which is to develop the love of God. These three subjects are explained in every aphorism of Vedanta Sutra. Because now we are trying to understand the essence of Vedanta Sutras as misinterpreted by Sārvabhauma. So, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is giving a clear understanding, right meaning of Vedanta Sutras. So, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, these three subjects are explained in every aphorism of Vedanta Sutras. For they form the culmination of entire Vedanta philosophy. One who understands this, the relationship between Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojana, he understood everything, the entire Vedanta philosophy. How that is possible? So we'll try to understand from Shat Sandarbhas a little while after. So what is Sambandha Jnana? So we all know, Prabhu, this is my relationship with Krishna. So actually, if we deep dive into Sambandha Jnana, knowledge of 4 items. There are 4 items covered in this Sambandha Jnana. Oneself, the universe, God, and their eternal relationship is called Sambandha Jnana. That is the knowledge of one's relationship with Supreme Lord. So this has got 4 different ingredients, 4 different constituents in understanding of Sambandha Jnana. So this is basically understanding our relationship a relationship of a jiva, a soul with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understanding that I am the servant of Lord. This is Sambandha Jnana. So when one is convinced about this relationship, he is understood to be in the Sambandha Jnana. So what is Abhideya? When such a jiva who understand his Sambandha and acts accordingly, he is in the platform of Abhideya. Means he is following the process as laid by Acharyas. We see in the previous slide that Acharyas have laid a path in the forest of Vedantic knowledge. So first one is who understands that, okay, I have to reach the destination of other side of the forest, which is the reaching, understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is my prayojana. And I am servant and I need to reach him or understand him. So he understood Sambandha. Then Abhideya, simply the path laid by Acharyas in the forest of Vedic knowledge. He takes that path and goes. He will not see here, there. Because the moment he sees here and there, he gets influenced, again he will fall down. Here, seeing here and there means he don't have to practice any other process like Sārvabhauma he got influenced under Mayavadi philosophy. So then our Abhideya is very clear. We understood, okay, this is the path I have to follow. Now we have to start following the path. What is the problem? Next step is Prayojana Siddhi. Once you takes up the path without looking here and there is no problem, simply we will reach the destination. Simple process, we are complicating it. So the fulfillment of ultimate goal of one's life is Prayojana. If one can understand his relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead and act accordingly means what? Following the path given by Acharyas. Automatically his mission in life is fulfilled. Because he takes up the path, where he will go? He will not reach anywhere than where Acharyas want us to reach. In between, if we sidetrack and take another route, it is our choice to fall down and come back. But at the end, we have to come back to this. Bhaunam Janmanamante. Again, we have to come back at millions of life to the path given by Acharyas and take up the path and reach the ultimate Prayojana. So, this is the simple process given by, as being explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Now, let us try to understand Sat Sandarbhas as given by Srila Jiva Goswami. What is relevance of Sat Sandarbhas to our topic? Very important, my dear devotees, very, very important. Because Jiva Goswami, what is Sat Sandarbhas? First of all, you can see on the screen that the original name of Sat Sandarbha was Bhagavata Sandarbha, indicating that it is an exposition and analysis of the essential message of Srimad Bhagavata Purana. In this work, Sri Jiva Goswami offers a comprehensive and exhaustive analysis of Srimad Bhagavatam and concludes the highest feature of absolute is personal God. So this is a topic which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining to Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Let us try to understand. We will not go in deep dive. We will only try to understand the basic concepts, because deep diving Sat Sandarbhas, oh my God, it is even the whole life is not. I don't know how Jiva Goswami could write this beautiful 6 books of Sandarbhas, understanding of Supreme Personality of God. We'll see very, very briefly. And we'll take only small topics relevant to today's discussion. there are 6 Sandarbhas. Tattva Sandarbha, Bhagavat Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha, and Priti Sandarbha. So each one has its own purpose. Otherwise, Jiva Goswami could have written only one book, voluminous book, saying it is Sandarbha. It's supposed to be like that, but when he started writing, it has become a 6. He understood no purpose of making a different conceptual understanding to be given. Tattva Sandarbha is epistemology of the concept of absolute truth. It gives various pramanas. It gives various pramanas of Sandarbhas, like understanding of absolute truth. Tattva Sandarbha, actually, I read part of Tattva Sandarbha, and I not completed all these Sandarbhas, but partially I read all these 6. Tattva Sandarbha actually had 2 divisions. The first division, Jiva Goswami lists out various pramanas. It's called epistemology of personalist school. Means various standards of a school of thought which who follows the personal feature of the Lord. So in this Sandarbha, he explained the various means of attaining knowledge and what are the evidences of proofs in support of those means are covered in this. We will not go in detail. We will only touch base those topics which are relevant to today's discussion. In the second discussion, he has given prameyas, that is, he explains the object to be realized by knowledge. First division, we have some standards. What is the means of understanding the Lord? Second division, he says, whom we need to understand. Object of understanding. Who is our object of understanding? That he covered in Tattva Sandarbha, second division. Next comes to Bhagavat Sandarbha. Jiva Goswami speaks about Bhagavan, his abode, and his associates. And in this Sandarbha, he gives a conclusive evidences that Bhagavan is a complete and indivisible absolute reality. The real understanding of absolute truth is Bhagavan realization that he has established. These 6 Sandarbhas are very, very important for the preachers, because we will become more strong in our philosophical understanding. And that all other manifestations of the Lord, including Paramatma and Brahman realization, are dependent on and inferior to Bhagavan realization. So that very clearly with scriptural references and evidences, he has proved it in Bhagavad Sandarbha. In Paramatma Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami explains the 3 manifestations of Bhagavan and describes how Lord is related with each individual in this material world. He explains very clearly. Again, we are not going in detail about this. In future, sometimes when opportunity comes, we can do a seminar and have a wonderful discussion on these topics. So in this Sandarbha, Lord Jiva Goswami explains about Maya, the influence of Maya, which is the external potency of the Lord. Also, he explains in this Sandarbha. Then comes Krishna Sandarbha. Jiva Goswami explains the form of Krishna is the original form of Bhagavan. Now he is talking about a personal form of Krishna, of Bhagavan. In Bhagavad Sandarbha, he established Bhagavan relation is the ultimate. Here in Krishna Sandarbha, he shows the personal form of the Lord, how he looks like, and why he is the object of our devotional service? Why he must be an object of our devotional service? Why not somebody else? Why only Krishna's personal form must be our object of devotional service? He explains very clearly in this Sandarbha. In Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami explains about the path of devotion, Abhideya, as a sole means to direct God realization. And finally, in Priti Sandarbha, he analyzes Prema Bhakti. This is ultimate Prayojana. Devotional service in the pure love of Godhead, and shows how it is supreme goal of life. So if you see the in this chart, Bhagavad Sandarbha is object of worship. There it talks about Sambandha Jnana. Paramatma Sandarbha talks again about Sambandha Jnana. Krishna Sandarbha talks about Sambandha Jnana, because these three talks about object of worship, whom we are going to worship. That is in three Sandarbhas. And the fifth Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha, it is a process of Abhideya. This is very important for practitioner, Bhakti Sandarbha. And finally, Priti Sandarbha is a Prayojana. This is a love of Godhead. So what is love of Godhead? It is a very vague concept, even for many of us who are in the Krishna consciousness. Love of Godhead, what exactly it means. So as a preacher, if you want to deep dive into this topic, here is Priti Sandarbha. So if you carefully see, there is no Sandarbha for Brahman. Brahman realization. That is why I am discussing this Sandarbha's topic. There is no Sandarbha for Brahman realization. Why? Since Brahman is merely an incomplete realization of Bhagavan, a separate Sandarbha is not required to describe. Who told this? His Holiness Bhanswa Maharaj in his introduction to Bhagavad Sandarbha. Bhanswa Maharaj also written commentary on Sandarbhas. So he mentions that why there is no need of a separate Sandarbha, because there is no need, because it's incomplete realization of Bhagavan. Okay. So Sri Prabhupada actually explains that Mayavadi philosophers, like now we are discussing about Sārvabhauma, miss even the first stage in self-realization. What is that? Sambandha. There is no Sambandha for them, because they have no conception of God being personal. When they don't understand the personality of God, how can I understand that I am a servant of the God? Means there is no Sambandha itself. So, first of all, there is no Sambandha, and they are trying to create a wrong Sambandha. How? Lord is a master of all, and he is only one person who can accept the service of all the living entities. But
it's not an easy task. So let's try using paint pens instead of our hand. But I need. How many of you, by the way,
can you please mute?
When you're in the shower, it's always when you can't write something down, right? And that's why you need to have a super brain to be able to.
Hare Krishna. Nitesh Prabhu, you are host, co-host. You can please take care of it.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So,
yeah.
This knowledge that Lord is a master and he is the only one person who accepts all our services, this understanding is lacking in Mayavada philosophy. So, Mayavadis do not have a knowledge of their relationship with God. There is no Sambandha, and they are trying to establish a different Sambandha, thinking that I am Narayana, you are Narayana. So, wrong Sambandha leads to what? Wrong Abhideya. Now you can understand where actually the whole discussion is taking place. When Sambandha is wrong and Abhideya is wrong, what will be a Prayojana? We'll go to hell. We'll go to, maybe at the best, we may go to impersonal Brahman, which is an incomplete realization. There is no way that we can go back home to God, back to Godhead. with this understanding. So, Srila Prabhupada says that since the real position of a living entity is not clear to them,
just in a twinkle
how can they advance further?
Huh?
Nitasha Prabhu, please take care. Somebody is unmuting the audio.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you repeat this one? This one 48. I didn't get initial itself.
Which one, Prabhu?
This 148 you're telling us. This one.
No, 148 not started, Prabhu. I'm just still discussing.
No, what you're describing, I didn't understand how they are.
I'm discussing about the concept of still actually I'm in the previous here.
Okay, yeah. This please describe again, Prabhu. This one, last two lines which we told, that one.
We're talking about this one, Prabhu? No, Sandarbha of Brahman. You're talking about this, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, for this one only.
No, I'm saying if you see previous slide, we see in 6 Sandarbhas. In this, Paramatma Sandarbha is there, Bhagavan Sandarbha is there. But there is no Brahman Sandarbha. There is no separate Sandarbha for impersonal Brahman understanding. So why Bhanasa Maharaj explains the reason, since the Brahman understanding is incomplete realization of Bhagavan, a separate Sandarbha is not required to be described. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Prabhu, you told then after the Mayavadi why they are not getting first stage of the this one itself. So I just want to know. Okay, that one, Prabhu.
Fine, Prabhu. So what Srila Prabhupada explains, actually Srila Prabhupada is, he never, when he chastises Mayavadi philosophers, he is not allergic to them. He is actually expressing his compassion. We should not misunderstand that Srila Prabhupada calls him as rascal. Of course, we cannot follow him, and we also call them rascal. Prabhupada calling them rascal is only out of his compassion. It's like a father is shouting his children. So, out of compassion, he is saying that Mayavadi philosophers miss even the first stage of self-realization, which is Sambandha Jnana. Because they are not able to identify the Lord in his personal form. They don't, for them, Lord is impersonal. So when Lord is impersonal, so their understanding is what? After giving us this body, I'll become Narayana, you are Narayana, I'm Narayana. So it means they don't have a personal understanding of the Lord. Because of lack of personal understanding of the Lord, their Sambandha Jnana itself is missing. So they miss the very first stage of self-realization, which is Sambandha Jnana. So because, why they miss? Because they don't have a personal, the conception of Lord's personal feature. So because they don't have personal understanding of personal feature of the Lord, and they don't understand that he is a master and he accepts our services, they end up taking up a different sambandha and different abhideya. Means what? They take a different path. Like how Sārvabhauma is taking a different path. They take a different path. When your sambandha jnana is wrong, your abhideya is wrong, where you will reach? You will reach to a different prayojana. Prayojana which is not actually your prayojana. You will reach to a wrong destination. Suppose you want to go to Delhi, you take a flight to somewhere Chennai. Your destination is supposed to be Delhi, and you taken a flight. Abhideya, you taken Abhideya of a route of Chennai, flight of Chennai. You will never reach Delhi. You will reach only Chennai. So that is what he is saying here. That Mayavadis, they accepted wrong sambandha, wrong abhideya. So what Srila Prabhupada explains here is, since the real position of living entity is not clear to them, what is the real position of living entity? That we are servants of the master. So for them, master doesn't exist. No personal form of the master. So there is no service to master. So no abhideya there. So what they will reach to impersonal Brahmajyoti. This is their ultimate destination. That's what Srila Prabhupada explaining. So hope this is clear, Prabhu. Now, coming to Madhya Lila 148 verse. Vedera niguda artha bhujana na haya purana vakya seya artha karaya nishchaya. The confidential meaning of the Vedas is not easily understood by common men. Therefore, that meaning is supplemented by the words of Puranas, which we already discussed. That Puranas are supplementing and complementing the Vedic scriptures. As Mathuradesh explained, that any literature which complements, which approves the statements of Vedic literature are also considered as Vedic literature only. This is how Srimad Bhagavatam is called Bhagavata Purana, also considered as a Vedic literature. So this is from 148 verse. In 149, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu explaining, he is taking an example to give reference to what 148 sloka he has given. He says, Puranas supplement the words or the statements given by Vedas. So that he is giving a reference from Srimad Bhagavatam. How greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaja. Sorry. Aho bhagyam Nanda Gopa Vrajau Kasam Yan Mitram Paramanandam Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. How greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaja, the cowherd men and all the inhabitants of Vrajabhumi. There is no limit to their fortune because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahman has become their friend. So this statement is complementing Vedic literature. This Bhagavad Purana is complementing the Vedic literature and establishing the truth of absolute nature, understanding. So, as told by Madhya, such Puranas are also considered as Vedic literature only. So, what Chaitanya was told in the previous sloka, that the confidential meaning of Vedas is not easily understood by common men. Therefore, that meaning is supplemented by the words of Puranas. So, Puranas, now we see the example of what Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about. Now, in verse 150, Apani Pada Sruti Varje Prakrita Pani Charana Puna Kahe Shigra Chale Kare Sarva Grahana. The Vedic Apani Pada mantra rejects the material hands and legs, yet it states that Lord goes very fast and accepts everything offered to him. Actually, I want to take up to verse 152. So I'll stop at 149 itself, because 150 onwards it is one sect. 150, 51, 52 relates to one topic of discussion. So since already time is up, I would like to stop here and take a few questions if anybody has in this context. Any questions? No questions?
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for wonderful session. Any devotees have any questions, comments, you can directly unmute and speak. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we go in, Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's such a powerful class, I must say. Your emotions were flowing all over the place. I think your enthusiasm was there. And it's great, Prabhuji. And this is what it is, that if the preacher is so much involved, I think we don't even need the scriptural references. I think the passion comes through. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. I have probably I'm very back to the basics, and some of the things you said, I think most of them we have already heard it before. And that's where my basic question is. The very first one is like what Arjun says in Bhagavad Gita. As Prabhupada said, Bhagavad Gita, the Bhakti Shastri, that's the main scripture to start with. Of course, we can dwell more into the details, but I think it's the way you explained the Sambandha, then the Abhidya, and then obviously at the end, the Prayojan. I think it's very clear that most of us, I would say, know that what the Sambandha is. It's and then maybe Prayojana, where we would like to reach. I think that's also very clear. Of course, the book you wrote, that's the whole idea. In between, Abhidya, I think that's where we get lost. And in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 6, it's verse 34, I think. Feel free to correct me, Prabhuji, where Arjun says to Krishna that, okay, I understand, but still it feels like something from outside is making me to not to do these things or to do wrong things, kind of thing, which means that we understand all. So it's very basic. We understand that be there. We follow it. And let's say we don't need to do the Nama Pradha. We should follow, let's say, just chanting. There are so many things in devotional services which we could do with a pure consciousness, pure mind, without any aparadha. But the mind comes along and takes us away. I think that's the main thing. It's not what to do. I think we know what to do. We know where to go, but how is the concern. Now, if the answer is how, is just keep doing it, devotional service, then I think already doing it. So the same question, Prabhuji, I think must have been asked number of times, that we know what to do, but it's hard to do. So how we can do it? And yes, Prabhuji, would love to hear from you, please.
Prabhu, can you repeat the question, because my battery went down, so just I had to plug the connection. Can you repeat the last statement? I missed it.
Yes. So Prabhuji, I was saying that we know the Sambandha. So we understood from the scriptures. We have obviously heard it so many times, and we even know the destination. We know where we would like to go. So the first step is, okay, the Sambandha we know, we have accepted that we are the servants, and we know the destination, we know the Prayojan, we know where we want to reach. In between, Abhidya, that's where we are lacking. It's not that we don't know. And I keep saying we, but let's say if I would just say for myself, I know exactly. But of course, I mean, it's early morning here, but as soon as the day will progress, the mind will drift away, and I forget all the devotional service and get into the material world, whether it's the family or the business or on the name of devotional services as well these days. So how to do? And I gave the reference of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 34, I think, and when the Krishna replies back in 35, that it's mind takes it away. So how to control that? So that's where the question is, Prabhuji, how to do it. We know exactly what to do it. We know exactly where to go, but still we are unable to do, and hence we are here. So how to do it, Prabhuji, please?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for a nice question. Actually, yes, you are 100% right that many of us, we know what is our Sambandha. We say that, oh, I am Dasa Dasa. So this is very easy to say this. And we also know our Prayojana, that Krishna is ultimate this one, and we all understand this. But yes, our problem is Abhidaya. Why our problem is Abhidaya? Doesn't mean that we don't know the Abhidaya, because our process is very clear. Because Sambandha is where we have to struggle to understand. Even somebody is telling us that you are servant of so and so, my mind will not accept such easily. So Sambandha is not easy thing. So once our Sambandha is clear, Prayojana becomes much easy. But the problem comes with the Abhidaya, because mind is like a monkey. it easily gets distracted that knowing well my sambandha, I am servant of the Lord and my prayojana, I want to go to reach that particular destination. But still, when we are going on the path laid by Acharyas, as I mentioned, in the forest of this Vedic knowledge, it is, we know that, okay, I have to reach to such and such a place. And I understand of reaching that, what I'm supposed to do, that I know. Why I'm going there, I know. But how to go there? There are so many routes. But we know this particular route is authorized route given by Acharyas, or like say forest department, for example, to put it more crude way. Forest department has given a route. They put a direction, go this way, go this way, this way. So it is very easy for us blindly follow that route. We don't have to concoct saying, why should I go to this route? Why not I take a side track? No problem. Your God has given a free will. You can take any route. But the problem is you will get lost. And there may be wild animals in the forest. You will be caught by those wild animals. Exactly same thing happens in this material world. Acharyas already laid a path. They put arrow mark. Take left, take right, go straight. And also they say no right turn. Don't take right. Means this is a danger. Means what is that? No right, no left turn. Means these are 4 regular principles what Acharyas is given. Don't do this, don't do that. Do's and don'ts. So the path is very clearly there. But because our mind gets easily distracted, influenced, so we take another route. No, let me try this. Means that we don't have a complete surrender to our Acharyas. Forget about surrender to Supreme Lord, that comes later. First of all, we don't believe the path given by Acharyas as the authentic, so we take another. Why we to go to another route? Because I don't trust this route. If we know that route surely goes to that prayojana, why not take another route? But still, as you rightly said, we tend to take a different route and get lost in the jungle and get caught by wild animals. Wild animals here is Maya. So we don't have to do this. To answer your question, yes, it is very difficult because we are into this material world. Padam padam yat vipadam. Every step there is a danger. Every step there is a distraction. As you remember, in the Bhakti Ruksha, I think it's a week 9, week 10, that Shraddhavan the drama we used to do. Ramesh and I forgot other person's name. So he tried to distract. Oh, come for a party, come for movie, we'll go for movie and all. We get distracted because we have not accepted Abhidheya strongly. The moment we accept Abhidheya very strongly, then it is like we should be like a horse covered with the ice. There is no other way. Go blindly into the route because we don't have to even bother about anything. Go blindly in the path given by Acharyas, Abhidheya. And simple process. No any hassles. Very simple process. But of course, in this royal road also there is a danger of a fall down because if we take ourselves granted, we get caught by Maya even on this path. Within the devotees, we've seen so many examples, so many instances which I don't want to quote in this forum. We all know that. So we have to be careful and simply follow the instructions given by Acharyas and follow the path. It is very easy. But yes, it is again difficult because padam padam yat vipadam. So it is only a focus on the instructions given by Acharyas. So this is my understanding, Prabhu. If anybody has any other thing, you can add. Sripad Mataji wants to add something. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just I want to remind and I would like to add, yesterday's our class, our Padma Sundari Mataji's mood. Today's Prabhu question asked by VP Govinda Prabhu was very wonderful question. Actually, the same question, I was also introspecting very deeply. I was thinking, it has been more than 20 years where I am standing. So, as you mentioned, this path is very definitely difficult, but usually the sadhakas, they don't reflect about their endeavors. This is telling about my realization, Prabhuji. We know this path is this is the right path and this is the destined path we have to go, but we don't have that unflinching faith. Unflinching faith means whatever happens, this is what I have to do. That unflinching, this one, sometimes we feel lacking. And even sincere endeavors also. Sincere endeavors means, for example, Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas has given the instruction, every day we have to read Srila Prabhupada books or literatures. How much sincerely we are reading? Sometimes we feel like we are busy, or sometimes we feel like, oh, we are not feeling to read or something, whatever. For example, 16 rounds. 16 rounds, we have to chant and hear. How much strictly, how much we are endeavoring for that sincere chanting. Chanting and hearing here I am talking. So if we count and we analyze our sadhana, then I feel like I'm lacking in so many points. But you see, when we are having the unflinching faith and when we are in midst of the devotees, yesterday our class, our Mataji, Padmasundari Mataji was telling, this, yes, I know, this birth itself, I will go back to Godhead. I am sure. Are we having that much faith? Are we having that much confidence? I feel amazing with Mataji. Mataji, whenever I speak Mataji, even when we are in Australia, Melbourne also, every time Mataji says, this one only, this one only. See, not only she feels, but she is having that confidence faith. Anybody will come and anybody, you see, try to, Mataji, what all we are doing. Mataji, we, even though this is very, very, very long path, even though this is assured, but very long path, everyone, Mataji says the same thing. I know this birth itself, we will go back. So I feel like this is what we have to, every time what we have to say, introspect, or this is what I feel, Prabhuji. First, we have to checklist our sadhana. If already we are doing all this, then we need to have maintain the same level of, same tempo of utsaha. Sometimes we lack this also, enthusiasm also we lack. We feel how many bhakti vrikshas we do. Even though we do so many preaching, many are not getting turned. Leave it up. These many years we are preaching. How many turned? Leave it. So some we feel like stagnated at some points. Already you mentioned distractions are at every step, and these type of stagnations are feeling some frustrations are one another side. All these made actually utsahat, this nischayat dhairyat, we feel sometimes we especially in my case we feel lacking. But when we are associate with the sincere devotees and when we are reading the especially Bhagavatam every day minimum 1 hour we have to make it ready, then definitely I feel uplifting, Prabhuji. This is what my understanding from Prabhuji's question. This is what I want to share, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mataji. Thanks for your sharing. Very important point. What Sripada Mataji has told is introspection, because we have to not only introspecting ourselves, but we have to introspect under the guidance of our Shiksha Guru if we are not able to reach our spiritual master. Because when we introspect ourselves, sitting our own, and everything is going well. But when we do it under guidance of Shiksha Guru, bona fide Shiksha Guru, then we know where we are going wrong, and if we are not on the right path, immediately he will pull us back. That's why being under with the association of devotees is very, very important. So that and also I seen so many apasampradayas are stepping into even the devotees' activities. I don't know to refer to a case which recently I seen. It has come to my notice, but it is even within our own community. Apasampradayas, Sahajiya mentalities. I don't understand where are we going. Really, I felt like crying when I seen this incident. That we are into this movement for so many years and decades, but what are we doing? Means we are not having a faith on the path given by Acharyas. Why are we concocting, inventing our own new path? When I discussed about this matter with Padmasundari Mataji, she said, this is Apasampradaya, Prabhu. You should not entertain all these things. Of course, it is not in Mathuradesh, but I don't know to refer to the case on the record here. But it is, yes, because we don't have faith. I don't understand why do we need to invent a new path and fall down. Not only we fall down, we are guiding so many devotees. We take every one of them and we fall down. We mislead them. We have no right to do this. As preachers, as leaders, we are not supposed to do. So it's very, very painful that we come across such a apasampradayas in our community nowadays. Very disturbing, actually. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks for Darshan Prabhu. You have something to add?
Yeah, Prabhu. Just in the same chapter, there's a 108 shloka. His translation says, I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, who is full of unlimited qualities and whose different potencies bring about agreement and disagreement between disputants. Thus, the illusionary energy again and again covers the self-realization of both disputants. So, when we put a question mark, anything mentioned by the Acharyas, is it right or wrong? Instead of keeping them in a one part where we can say this, okay, this is the right path, how to bring together. But when we bring dispute in that one, then Lord's energies increase our disputes. And result of that, they cover the both persons. This agreement covers the both persons, and again, and they lost their path of self-realization. This is so when we go as per the Shastras, we don't fall in the trap of this one. So we say that what you mentioned in the Abhideya, to follow the Acharya's path. We should follow the Acharya's path strictly with that one, without looking and here, there. Whenever we start looking and here and there, we'll not able to follow the Abhideya. It's clearly mentioned here.
Yes, Prabhu. So this is this particular topic, the sloka reference what you gave is the discussion between Gopinathacharya and Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya.
Yes.
Where Gopinathacharya is trying to explain that why or how we can understand that Chaitanya Prabhu is the Supreme Person of Godhead. And because Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya is understanding that no, he is not, he is only a sannyasi. So the point here, as you rightly mentioned, that when we take a different path, Lord allows us to go into the path.
Yes, Prabhu. That is
because
the main.
it is our free will.
Yes.
But out of compassion, still he keeps sending his representatives even that path, trying to bring us back. But like Shiksha Gurus will come and say, Prabhu, why you are wasting your time? Please come for program. So, but no, Prabhu, I'm fine. I'm happy with this. So still he keeps trying.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is the compassionate nature of
It's
the Lord
yes,
and
yes. So
Gurus.
this is the things, and unnecessarily should not be involved in agreement and disagreements. Follow the path which has been followed by the acharyas. That's all.
So what actually this sloka is talking about, when we say, who is full of person of Godhead, who is full of unlimited qualities and whose different potencies bring about agreement and disagreement between disputants. So when I take a different path, we'll get all scriptural references for me to feel that I am doing right.
Yes.
We'll invent all the, we'll
Invent
Google
and
it.
listen.
We will Google it and say that, Prabhu, I am right.
Yes.
See, Lord is giving such an opportunity for us to prove that, okay, I'm also fine. So this is where Mahamaya will act. So different potencies here, Yogamaya and Mahamaya will act in each individual way, so that we completely distract. Because if we take a path, fine, okay, you fall down and come back again at some point of time in future. Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for
Hare Krishna.
adding this. If you can, Prabhu, are you fine with the discussion or anything left out?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Inward pranams. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and thank you to Mataji. And I completely agree with Mataji over she said. I think even though initially I said we know the Sambandha, but to a great deal, I think the Sambandha itself, the total surrenderance, that's kind of compromised. I don't think we surrender to the degree which is required in order to reach.
That is Abhidaya, Prabhu.
Sambandha,
there is no surrender. Sambandha, okay, I am servant, you are the master. Identifying. I know. Yes. See, this is theoretically we know. Krishna is our master, I am a servant. Theoretically we know.
Yes.
And I also know that I have to go back to Godhead. Pravajana, that also I know. The problem is the process.
Yes. Yes. What I understand, Prabhuji, the relation itself is like an analogy comes in where in a plane, the plane was going left and right, up and down, and all the passengers started getting worried. And there was a little boy there who was sitting very nicely composed. And somebody said, you are not worried. And he said,
pilot is my father.
True, the pilot is my father. So if that Sambandha is there, then rest of the things fall in place itself. So that's what I said.
No, it doesn't mean, Prabhu, if I know pilot is my father, that doesn't give me faith. If I have faith on my father's competency, that gives comfort. Just because he is my father, this is what Sambandha we know. He is my spiritual master and he is the Supreme Lord, I am his servant. Sambandha I know. But Abhidaya is where we are establishing the process, following the process. Do I have a faith on my spiritual master that he will take me back home, back to Godhead? If I have faith, yes, then the example what you've given is right. Like the boy who is very cool because he had a faith. The point here is not that he is son of a pilot. The point here is he had a faith on the father. That is the point. That faith is missing in our Abhidaya. The faith is there, then we will not take any other path.
Yes, but okay. Yeah, what I'm saying, Prabhuji, that if the faith is missing, and that's true, that's what I understood when Mataji said it. If faith is missing, I think even we don't understand even the Sambandha, because Sambandha is that the way the faith is completely established. If the faith is missing, that means we don't even accept the complete Sambandha, because complete Sambandha is that the pilot is going to take care. Of course, we have to follow rest of the things, but yeah, the question is, or the question has been that how, like what Prabhuji also mentioned, and I checked that verse as well, which gives the reference to Srimad Bhagavatam, and I had a quick look there, but it's the same thing. that we understand. It's not that we don't understand what to do. Now you say the path. We understand the path is there left, but still we goes right. Why? And that's where it is. We know it. And there is a. Do we have that trust, Prabhuji? And I will just leave it here. How do we know where we have the trust? For example, I'll give the example here in London. We have, for example, the secondary school. So my kids are going into secondary. We have the primary and secondary school where the kids grow up. We have Hare Krishna ISKCON temples here. And then we have the schools associated with it. And the schools are called Avanti schools. Might have heard Avanti schools are there in London. Not many, but there are 2-3 schools. Now, a lot of devotees, they send their kids there. But a lot of devotees, they consider sending the kids to some other better schools. Now, if Avanti schools are there where it's more or less what Gurukul is or Gurukul could be in London. That's the nearest we could. But still, we have many more opportunities. We think we will send it for the material gain. And we don't need to discuss it. But of course, a lot of devotees, they send their kids to foreign land for the studies, for many, many different things. Why not we just keep our kids close to us? Why don't we just keep kids in the Gurukul and then get them what the Sambandha is rather than getting success in the material world? And I think this is where the Prayojana goes wrong. And what I understood from Mataji, that I think the lack is there in the Sambandha, even though we say we understand that, but I don't think the complete faith is there. If the complete faith is there, that the Krishna is going to take care, if we are just going to take the name of the Lord, but still we do a lot of other things just to ensure our material life, and the spiritual life will go hand in hand. Rather than the spiritual life should be the focus, and the material life Krishna will take care. But in regard of the time, Prabhuji, I will just leave it there. But good food for thought. We can discuss it later, if you say. But thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you to everyone who got involved and try to answer it. But it's very important that how we could do it. Mind, we need to focus, and that's where the consciousness comes in. I think we should spend more time on it. Maybe, I think. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your additional comments. Actually, the point here is Sambandha is not lost. Sambandha becomes theoretical. If we are not following Abhideya, establishing Sambandha, like for example, Sambandha that he is a pilot and I am the passenger, that still remains. He is a father, I am the son, father pilot, I am son traveling in the same flight. So Sambandha is still there, but it becomes theoretical if I don't have faith on the path. So that becomes this is anyway. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So we can discuss further in coming sessions whenever further other devotees can take up this topic. So thank you very much, all the devotees, for attending. I'm sorry, please forgive me for taking a long time. I felt that definitely there will be some questions on this topic, so I stopped at 9:95 so that we can spend some time. So we'll continue our discussion from verse 150 onwards next week. I think Shivanath Prabhu, today I couldn't see him. Shivanath Prabhu will continue the class. Hitesh Prabhu is confirmed?
Yes, Prabhuji, earlier he has confirmed. Again, I will put him and update you.
Yeah, because he was supposed to take last week and this week also. I think he said he's not, he's having a duty and all. So check with him.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.